Dwane, how would you describe the mood today after last night? I mean, what you saw them playing with?
Well, it's a series. When you win a game, it's not the end of it. When you lose a game, it's not the end of the world. Trying to keep from that emotional roller coaster. There's plenty of stuff we can work on offensively and defensively. On both ends of the ball. So I mean, everybody's upset that we lost, which it should be, but nobody's pushed the panic button because it's such a competitive series.
Yeah, Kyle said he was pretty upset last night. Do you encourage them to sort of get rid of that today and then?
Well, yeah, that's what films are for. That's what we're gonna try to correct those situations. You want guys to be frustrated, but again, you can't linger on because now we got another game tomorrow night. Both teams have to correct it. They went through the same thing in Game 3, so it's going to be. This is going to be a nip and tuck series because of the fact of two competitive teams, two tough teams that are making adjustments with their lineups, their substitutions, their matchups. So everything's going to be evolving as this series goes on.
Oh, is it getting tougher and harder to explain just the struggles that DeMar and Kyle seem to be having?
Well, again, the guys they're not shooting the ball well. I mean, it's written history, and we know about it. Miami knows about it. We're trying to do things to get around it, and trying to create more offense with those guys struggling the way they are. But again, they're going to be our guys because at some point they're going to get their shot, their rhythm, their shot. Somebody else is going to step up, and they may be more of a decoy or whatever. But it's not like we're just going to bench Kyle and DeMar and go away from them. They're our guys. We believe in them. They're our two all-stars. And sooner or later, they're gonna come through or be a part of what we're trying to do.
Why did DeMar find himself on the bench then in the fourth quarter? Was it just
Well, again, his thumb is bothering him some. That's another way of trying to find offense. We're trying to find some guys, a group that had a rhythm going. We were searching at that point, and he wasn't in that situation. But again, when Kyle got in foul trouble, we went back to DeMar, and until his thumb is 100% and get it, and plus his shooting slump, he's got a double whammy. So we're trying to help him as much as we can.
Isn't that as much the story in this postseason in general as well, as much as the All-Star backcourt struggle? It's been Patterson one night, Bismack another night, Jonas, it's been Corey. The depth has kind of come through.
And that's a positive, Eric. It's so easy to look at the negatives and the struggles that DeMar and Kyle are having, and which is easy to see. But the positives are the fact that guys like Pat, guys like Corey has stepped up and played extremely well for us. In light of the shooting woes of DeMar and Kyle, and that's why you have a 15-man roster. I was proud of the way Lucas came in, hadn't played in the whole series, but was ready to go and contribute what he could with Jonas going down. So it's going to be different storylines each night, different ways trying to win, a different way trying to find offense, and most of all, a different way of trying to keep the ball in front of us on the perimeter. I thought that was our biggest nemesis was containing the basketball, because they were just Dwayne Wade was just putting his head down and just attacking our paint, and I don't care if you have Wilt Chamberlain or Bill Russell back there, one dribble to the rim is not very many big guys going to get there. So we got to do a better job to buy time for our weak side help to get there, more so than just straight line drives to the rim.
Eric Spoelstra was saying like he's shocked that you haven't given up 100 points to them, or they haven't scored 100 points. Pretty good offensive team. They put a number on Charlotte
108.
times. What are you guys doing?
Well, we're doing some different things, Michael, and that's a positive. That's the positive. But what offense we are giving up are straight line, are things that we should be better at. Our defense hasn't been atrocious, but it can be better. I think it could help our offense a little bit more by getting stops, getting out on the break a little bit more. But again, our defense has been solid, I would say, to keep this team, because they were scoring like 108 points a game, throughout the playoffs and everything. So it has been good, but it can be better.
Coach, the broadcast picked up the huddle and the timeout right before the last possession. It seemed like Kyle was very animated. He was in sort of a heated exchange with Corey. I don't know if there's some disagreement there. What was happening in that?
Well, that's the problem with that. You have a lot of heated conversations in the huddles, and that's I'm not sure what was said. There's so much being said at that time, and so much going on after I make the call or whatever is going on. So I'm not privy to what two guys are saying, Josh, but I haven't seen the video or talked to Kyle and Corey, what they were talking about.
When you were talking about Wade there, you touched on it a little bit, especially when you mentioned the weak side of it. You're not going to stop him, but how can you slow him down? Because it's been almost like Paul George in round one from Dwayne Wade just doing so much this round.
Well, matchups. I think that, we've been rotating people. We've had DC on him. We've had Norm on him. We've had different people on him trying to contain him. And then, too, at the same time, we had Pat in last night trying to create offense where we were struggling to score. And then, that had been successful in the game before with a small lineup with Pat at the 5. But last night they did a much better job of just breaking our guys down one-on-one. As soon as they cross half court, he's just kind of breaking us down. So, I thought he did an extra special job last night of just going one-on-one, breaking us down. Our weak side help us slow getting there. But again, if you get there to the rim so fast, I don't care who you are, it's going to be hard for any of his weak side defense to get there. So it's going to be about matchups, maybe doing something different at half court, which I don't like, because you open up another can of worms when you start running people at guys at half court to trap when there's no pick and roll, when there's just straight line drives. So again, I know we can do a better job of containing the basketball on the perimeter, at least another couple of dribbles to buy weak side help to get there, and we will do that.
What was the reasoning for you leaving Bismack on the bench for
We
overtime?
was trying to create offense, and that lineup had been successful for us the game before. We got caught not getting him in as far as offense, defense was concerned. But again, even with Bismack in, they were getting to the rim, because if you don't contain the ball, another extra couple dribbles, I don't care who you have in there, it's going to get to the rim. Is that adjustment we could make? We're going to make. It could be. We could, go even smaller. So that's something that we've all talked about as far as getting the right group in there to defend the basketball late in the game.
How tough is that balance to make on the fly when Biz will probably help you somewhat, at least at the rim, but you're already short on spacing because there's no JV and
Right.
the shooters.
That's a difficult decision. That's you make that decision to go with, as they were doing with their lineup, to make decisions to get certain things out of it. And last night we come up short. We got the short end of the straw last night because I felt like our spacing was bad. I thought that our offense was. Our offensive rhythm was not there last night. So that was a decision we made and went with it, and it didn't work out.
Dwane, can you say, is Lamar playing through pain with his thumb, or is his thumb not allowing him to do things, or is it both?
Well, it's a little bit of both. He was having shooting woes before the thumb, but now he has the thumb, so he's dealing with that along with the confidence in his shot and his offensive rhythm. So, he's got a double whammy, but it's like he said, it's something that, he wants to play with. He says he's okay. He says he can go, but, I see him losing the basketball in the crowd, and guys hitting, when other teams know you have an injury, they're gonna whack at it. And that's why you don't give out as much information as you need to. But, so when he goes in the crowd now, they're going after his thumb, and rightfully so. Most, not intent, but they're going for the ball, and his hand is right there. So, just trying to, he's going to have to manage the pain, get treatment today, treatment tomorrow, and see where it is.
This has been 2 series where we've seen extreme highs and extreme lows. Last 3 weeks, what's your stress level? Are you sleeping much?
I'm sleeping like a baby, waking up and crying. But again, that's again, like I tell everybody, I don't get too excited when we win because this is series, and this is a very competitive series, and I don't get too down when we lose. I get concerned about some of the things we can improve on, but that's what a competitive series is about. Been through many years of different series, and throughout the year, I think I've been trying to keep our team where you don't panic, it's not the end of the world when you lose a game, and that's the mentality you got to go through. This is going to be a very competitive series.
Can you relate to the way, you talk to some fans, just what they're going through with the stress levels, people saying that they're not performing as well at work a day after a loss like last night. They say the sun seems to be warmer and shining brighter on days when you guys win.
That's true. That's always true. But yet and still, there's another game to be played tomorrow night. And if we reacted to every recommendation, armchair quarterback the next day, we'd all be in trouble. We got to go with the decisions we make as a staff. We work with our analytical people. We have, it's not like we just sit back. Oh, we're going to play Pat. We're not going to play this guy. There's a method to the madness and well thought out plan. And in a competitive series, sometimes the other team gets the edge. And last night, Miami did a good job. They're a well-coached team. They're a well-oiled machine. They've been there before. You've got championship pedigree and Dwane Wade. So it's not like we were going to walk in this series and going to be a walk in the park. We feel fortunate with our offensive woes to be up 2-1 and to play that game last night as I'm not saying we played bad, but there were areas where we could gotten better and still had a chance to win is a positive, and that's where you have to look at it.
Wayne, what kind of a role does coming home have, especially after a loss?
It's great. It's always good to be home because I thought our crowd helped us win Game 2. Back here at home, the crowd, the enthusiasm. We didn't let the weight of the crowd, weigh on us. We played, a little bit more freer. But again, at crunch time, I thought they brought us through at the end of the game, which was huge for us. Mike.
I have a two-parter. One is, now you've seen the film, just walk through the last possession before overtime, if you could. And two, a lot of times when teams aren't succeeding offensively, it bleeds into their other parts of the game, frustration, effort, whatever it might be. You guys, now it's been like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and the effort level stays high. How is that happening? What does it say about your group?
Well, I think it says a lot about our guys. We're pushing them. Sometimes it does, Michael, bleed over to the defensive side. And it's human nature when guys are not performing or getting the job done offensively the way they normally do, and then they start thinking about it on the other end instead of thinking next play, next stop. The last play last night was not an ISO play. We had some diversion, trying to get a slip, trying to get another screen. Dwane Wade they did a great job of blowing it up, taking guys off their line, which you have to give them credit. When he locks in, Dwane Wade is one of the top defenders in the league. Terrence was supposed to come up, and he just got rode out of that situation. But again, those things happen. I still thought Corey had a good look. It wasn't like it was a bad shot. It wasn't a shot we wanted. But it didn't work out the way we wanted it to. And that happens in a game, and then you have to go to plan B, and Corey did a good job of getting a good look. He had just hit, I think, 2 in a row right before that, and he was really the only guy that had anything going offensively at that time. So, him taking that shot was not the worst shot in the world.